Hello everybody and welcome to the Cardboard Cooperative. This is your host Magna, and today we will be taking the first bite out of Topdeck Automat. Topdeck Automat is available on Steam right now as a demo, so if you're interested I will leave a link in the description below. Until then, let's go ahead and dive right in with a new run. Alright, what do we got going on here? Choose Ace, or I can choose Engineer Ace, Original Ace, B-Ray Ace, or One Punch Ace. That sounds really good. I have done a run on this just to check it out with the original Ace, but I just kind of hit play and go. Automatic card ejector is what Ace stands for. Term coined by Resistance Commander Brian Long. We now use for all the printer-equipped worker droids we hack and reprogram to rise against the alien invasion. Alright, so there is a little bit of a story of what's going on here. We have been hacked and we've been repurposed to be able to fight off aliens, huh? I don't even care what the rest of these guys do. I just want to be the One Punch Ace. So we'll go ahead and do that. Oh, they're difficulty levels. I can reach normal, trace, probe, pro plus, first contact. We'll go ahead and start off with normal. I had a pretty fun time trying this out. Unfortunately, the daily patrol is not available in the demo. So let's go ahead and just try it out and see what happens. So this is a Autobattler in which you have 10 days to be able to prepare for a boss fight. You have so many lives to be able to expend before you lose the run, and fights happen every other encounter, as well as these weather effects that apply that you need to know about throughout the week as you're getting ready to fight the final boss. Let's go ahead and pick a module, which is a trinket that gives us a passive bonus at different trigger points. So this is the Blitz. At the start of a fight, gain haste for 3 seconds. That's actually pretty darn good. Being able to trigger my cards a little bit faster is really nice. When I take an attack damage, deal 5 damage to the enemy, or every day I get 1 reroll for free. Let's go ahead and start off with haste. I think a aggressive attack card build will want to have lots of haste. So the main hook of this game is that you build a deck. This is more of an engine builder than a straight up Autobattler roguelike, a la stuff like Bottom Showdown or the Bazaar. And you are able to create this deck, but you have no control over what cards are drawn from the deck. You just kind of spit them out. As the name suggests, you just automatically eject cards. So let's go ahead and take a look at what my starting deck is for One Punch here. A random enhanced legendary card in your deck for the fight. So I get to just have a random enhanced legendary card. I can freeze an enemy for 2 seconds. I can infect 3 per enhanced card in my deck, which is useless right now because I don't have any enhancements on my cards. Or I can heal 3 5 times. So the idea is that you must always have at least this many cards in your deck every single run, every single fight that you do. So I need to have at least 8 cards, and that increases every 2 days to have more cards being added. The big thing about constructing your deck is that you have to have an average of 2 weight really to be able to maintain to this low 2-second cooldown. Cannot be lower beyond 2 seconds, which is pretty cool. But cards will have different weights to them. As you can see, this one has a 3 weight, this one has a 1 weight, this one has a 2 weight. Going above the 16 weight limit will increase how long it takes for you to shoot out your next card. So we want to make sure that we are staying within that 16 card limit. But I don't really care to add anything to this deck because none of these are all that appealing. I suppose Healing Salvo is just a better restore, so we'll remove Restore from the deck and add the Healing Salvo. We will remove Jab from the deck and add a mythical die. If I remove the other Jab and maybe just put a heal in, I can focus on punching really hard with Jab, because it always crits with 50% extra damage, so this will actually be a 15 damage crit, and then we'll see whether or not mythical die gives me a legendary weapon or not. Because then the entire idea of the single attack in here would be completely screwed if the die gives me a legendary card. All right, let's go ahead and choose our path. So we'll always have one of two choices to take on one monster or the other, with rewards listed at the bottom. Sometimes it's loot, sometimes it's enhancements for the cards that already exist in your deck. I do want to go ahead and take this fight over here to get a little bit of extra money for the shop that happens at the end of the day. So we'll go ahead and take on the Rendonauts, who adds an mercy to my deck every 3 attacks. So he will bloat my deck, and the longer that this takes, the worse off it gets for me. Go ahead and fight. So something that I'm really enjoying about more recent auto battlers is that we are getting these increased speed, so I don't have to sit here for the full 30 seconds. I can increase my speed so we can get through this a little bit faster and maybe do a few runs in this recording as opposed to just 1 or 2. Since we are going to be going quite quickly, blazing through the battles, it's not necessarily a bad thing to be moving a little bit faster through the battles. Since I don't really need to examine the analytics, this is not a PvP game, so these are not other players that I'm going against. This is purely PvE from what I understand so far, which means that we can scale pretty nutty out of control pretty quickly. All right, what do we got here? Shield Bash. A trigger when I use a shield, and then I deal damage equal to my shield. So this is a triggered card, which means when it's drawn, it's not actually used. I have to wait to draw another card that is the trigger, which in this case would be a shield. I also love the art on these cards. Just the fact that he's lifting up his shield to bash it over. There's definitely a lot of silliness that's going on with the art in this game, which I do appreciate, that it doesn't take itself too seriously. I can Jagged Taurus, which deals damage equal to the total load of my deck, which actually would probably be better than the Jab, since this will deal 50% extra damage. So that's just a better version of the Jab. Or I can go ahead and get Well Trained, which gives me a shield and some damage. I'll go ahead and tag Taurus. Let's make... The game does not allow you to instantly change your deck out, by the way. You do have to remember to go into your settings on your robot and actually change your deck out. So let's go ahead and change our printer set out here, the deck with the printer icon down there, and we'll move on to the next path. I can get an infection card, which is a poison dot mechanic that deals piercing damage, but that does not make it an attack, which is pretty cool. So I can have some attack scaling without necessarily having attack. Or I can go after Blocky here and get another attack card, because there's at least 1 attack card in this loot pile and a little bit more money. Let's see how we do against a shield enemy, because these day 1 enemies are meant to lose to you. What did I get out of that? Desperate Freeze. Freeze your enemy for 3 seconds, but it gains 50% crit. That's terrible. I don't think I'm winning this fight, actually. I think I may have messed up. I'm very slow, and the storm kills me. Oh no. Losing a fight destroys one of your cores. If you run out of cores, your run ends. Okay. That did not go very well. Having only 1 attack against a high block monster was not exactly the winning strategy, but it's alright. We're learning. We're seeing what we can do. I do get a new attack that is Corrupted Ram. Oh, it triggers on attack, though. Let's take the shield card and go into the deck. We will remove 1 of the shield up to get the heavy plating. And this guy heals. He revives with 26 less health, but a 1 second faster cooldown. So the more I kill him, the faster he gets. This guy applies haste to himself. Let's go ahead and try the Gnome Lops out and see how I deal against healing and infect. You have some restore to be able to bring me back up to health, but I don't know if it's going to be fast enough. It is not. This is going very poorly. Jagged Taurus is not doing what I needed to do. When I execute a trigger, deal 15 damage, or at the start of the fight, deal 30 damage, and I also get the lucky die again. Let's go ahead and take the bomb kit, deal a little bit of burst damage at the beginning, and hopefully I can pick this run back up. Deal 15 piercing damage. when I play an attack card, gain 2 power. When I apply infection, I deal 10 damage. I have only 10 scrap though because I didn't win my fights. This is already getting pretty bad. This is pretty not great for me. Sanitary drop. I just drop a medicine thing on top of their faces. Let's lose the bomb kit and gain some extra haste. Maybe going a little bit faster at the beginning of combat will help me with what I need to do. This isn't going very well. Maybe one punch ace just isn't my ace. Or it could just be Jagged Taurus. I don't know. We need to build a deck around the idea of having one attack in the deck, I think. I mean, that's the entire passive on one punch here. So we'll go on to the next day and hopefully not get completely wrecked. I think I can go ahead and take on... I lost last time to the Shielder, but let's go ahead and take it because we want to have this enhancement and hopefully be able to upgrade a card. So enhancements are direct upgrades to cards that you can put one free one on, and then any additional ones increases the weight of a card in your deck. So you have to really think about whether or not you want a really powerful card or a lot of really good benefits across multiple cards. Whoa, why am I almost dead? What happened? Why did my health drop to 0? What did I activate in here? Alright, well, I've got plenty of shield. I guess that was a card that rolled off of the mythical die. Man, what a scary, scary thing. Alright, so do I want to level up the Jagged Taurus to have more damage? Let's try it out. Does this enhancement get the benefit from one punch though? Let's see. I actually do need to slow the combat down just to see if that is the case. Because if it is the case, okay, I can draw it now. Oh wow, that... yeah, that synergizes pretty well. Until I lose it because of the Rainbow Blast that was added to my deck. Awesome. Fine. And now I have lost the entire reason I am playing this character. Because I can no longer crit. We're okay. We barely win that one. He's great on by. Make an attack card deal piercing damage. Or I gain 5 power every single time that this card is triggered. Let's put it on the healing salvo. I think that's going to stay in the deck for a little while. So let's take it onto healing salvo and take on an elite. I was destroyed last time by Blocky, but I feel like I've got to try it again because I was also destroyed last time by the Gnome Moths. Actually, you know what? I don't like the idea of the die potentially screwing me over. So we'll remove it from the deck and we'll go ahead and put in the Tinkerer's Toxin, since I now have 2 enhancements, so at least does something. And it should help me deal with Blocky here. And it does, in fact, help me deal with Blocky. The Taurus just absolutely wrecked him, though. Awesome. Alright, that was a good enhancement on that card. My infections tick faster on my enemies for an acid rune. The first time I drop below 50% health in a fight, I can get shield, or attack buddy deals 5 damage every 4 seconds. We'll go ahead and just keep the pressure on. We are here to deal damage. So at the start of the fight, I can gain 4 power. I can gain a shield buddy, which is the same as the attack buddy, except a shielder. I can sprint to give myself haste for 6 seconds, which sounds really good, honestly. On attack, I heal for 40, also pretty useful. Or a seedling that heals me for 3, and at the start of each fight, I improve this card's heal by 3 permanently. So that's a scaling card that would have been more useful much earlier instead of at the end of day 2. So I think I go ahead and pick up Sprint, and we'll take Impact Ratchet as well to start off with a bit more power, which increases my damage with my attacks. Oh, it also increases the damage for modules, so this guy will deal more damage with more power. All right. We'll hold on to the money in case I need it for tomorrow. So we'll leave the mart now and move on to the next day. And now the charge weather increases any haste applied by 1 second. So it lasts longer by 1 second. We'll remove this one restore and we'll put the haste in. We'll just rely on having a little bit of healing and a little bit of defending with one really big punch. All right, so what does this guy do? Well, rather, what does he reward me with? If I win this fight, I gain 6 scrap and also a choice of a haste or slow or freeze card. This guy only gives me 5 scrap. He does a good amount of damage though, and I just took off a healing card and I'm not hiding behind very many shields. This is every 3 attacks increases its damage and shield by 5, so he's a scaling opponent, but I deal a good amount of just chunky damage. Oh, I don't have enough cards in my deck to be able to play this deck, so we'll add the restore back. Awesome. Not awesome that I'm over my weight limit, but still awesome. It's fine. It's only 0.11 seconds. How bad could that be? It is a 1/10 of a second longer. All right, now... Okay, it's over anyway. I really am just the one punch man. All right, Rockily Tube to gain 10 maximum HP for the fight. Another mythical die, not particularly helpful, or a frost. Nothing here really excites me. We'll go ahead and skip it to get the extra bit of money to make up for all that loot that I lost out on in the beginning of the run. Spike Mike deals 30 damage to you when you deal damage to it. I'm not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of that, but I really need the money. Do I really need the money? I feel like I kind of need the money since I lost so many battles early on, but maybe I just skip the money and go for a sure win, because I can take on Mr. Fist. Mr. Fist should be an easy enough battle to take on. Alright, let's go ahead and choose another card. I can get the Shuriken to deal 2 damage 5 times. Is that better than Jagged Taurus, since it does 5 times damage? It also reduces my weight back down to 18. Let's try this out. I didn't even look at the other cards. I just want to see whether or not this works better than Jagged Taurus. So let's go ahead and become a ninja. I'm no longer punching things. I'm throwing shurikens at them. All right, let's be careful. This is a terrible idea because then every time that I hit him with the shuriken, I will just die. So I don't even want to look at him. The Hypno Creep deals 30 damage and every 2 attacks he applies slow to me for 5 whole seconds. Alright, I guess I better make sure that Sprint is always activated. Well, not that I can really do anything to make Sprint activated, but hey. So what is this setting over here? What is this yelling? Is that a setting that's even faster than this setting? I can't really tell. Alright, what's my module here? When I heal, I gain 1 power. Ooh. Alright. That's really good with the healing salvo. I think I'm going to take the self-optimizer here. But the question is whether or not I want... I don't really think it is a question. I'm not really sure the Blitz is going to help me all that much. But self-optimizer is really good with the restore and the healing salvo, so we'll go ahead and do that. What is this? When you land a crit with an attack, deal 30 piercing damage. Oh man, that would have been fantastic. I should have gone for the extra money throughout the day. Darn it. Deal damage equal to 7 times the number of heal cards in your deck. Ooh. Darn. Oh, if I had known I was going to find a spiked bat, I would have gone for that. All right, we'll go ahead and just leave the mart for now. It's fine. We'll save up our money and hopefully be able to find a better module tomorrow. All right. Infection ticks faster. So all infection ticks faster. So I should try to avoid anything that infects me this day. All right, Mr. Fist, you've come back again for the 3rd time. Have you not learned that your fists are not as powerful as mine? You fool! You absolute... Wait, what just happened? What did I just hit him with? he just instantly died. Can I see the combat log for that? How much? Oh my gosh. 375 damage. Was that just the one time that it triggered? In the combat log, can we see how many times something triggered? I would love to know how many times it's triggered. Can we get that in the full release, please? I mean, this shows 3 toxic, so that was a single trigger, but I don't know how many times I actually drew it. I had the super speed on. We went a little bit too fast, and he died the second that I drew that card. All right, we don't need Needle, we don't need Envenom, we don't need Take Aim, because we already have 100% crit chance. We don't want another attack. And I don't really think I'm an Infect deck. If you are an Infect player, comment down below, because that's just evil, man. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the next path. I want this enhancement. And I beat him last time. Didn't he slow me for 5 seconds yesterday? Now he only slows me for 4? Well, I want this enhancement to see if I can get a good enhancement for the Shuriken. Yeah, the Shuriken just wiped his HP bar out. Alright, I'm not upset about it. I'm just surprised at how much damage it did for a single use. When I use this card, gain 5 power. When I use this card, add this effect for shield. Or it can reduce a card's load by 1. Let's go ahead and add this effect to a card to gain power. Doesn't really... Oh, I mean, I don't want to put it onto the Shuriken in case I find a different enhancement for damage that I want to put on him. So let's go ahead and just put it onto Sprint. Yeah, we're gonna avoid Spike Mike. He and I probably aren't going to be friends. But the Shieldsmith is going to be an easy fight, right? There's no way he shields through all my Shuriken damage. Really enjoying Shuriken. Great card. 1 second. Use my module. Another self-optimizer. Hourglass is cool. Slowing the opponent for a little bit would be nice, but I'm not really sure it's necessary in this context. The heal bob would be... The repair buddy would be cool. It'd be okay. I think it's self-optimizer for obvious reasons, though, just to get that extra power. Alright, what else do I get here? I can attack, lunge. I really don't need another attack. I think I actually rerolled the shop because none of these are really all that interesting. I think gaining haste for 9 seconds at the beginning of combat will help, just to be able to draw through my deck a little bit faster, but everything else there kind of sucks. So Combat Data Core, gain 2 power at the start of a fight, improve this card's power gain by 1 permanently. Alright, that's pretty good. Michelle's Apple. Heal 5 at the end of your fight. There's a 20% chance you destroy this card permanently to gain 5% maximum health. Not particularly interesting. I think Combat Data Core is darn good. Copy Copier. The first card you play in a fight is added to your deck as a copy with repeat for the fight. Aww. Let's just go ahead and do copy combat data. And we'll remove one of the shield ups for it. Oh, we should probably remove the heavy plating for it. Aw, darn. Okay. We'll go ahead and put the shield up. I don't want to increase my draw time if I can avoid it. Day 5 is another acidic weather. What does this guy do though? Heal 100 damage, heal 100 damage, and infect. Infection on it reduces by 10 instead of 1 each tick. Okay, it's a good thing I didn't go with an infect deck then, because he is just healing that infect right off of him. I would have been screwed trying to fight him with an infect deck. I didn't even think to look at his portrait until just now. This is the Hydra. Every 2 attacks doubles its damage. How worried am I about that? Or every 3 attacks freezes me applies freeze to me for 4 seconds. I want this card enhancement. I don't care about how dangerous this fight is. Invalid decks. Oh, I need to add a card to my deck. We will add... I guess I can add my... I mean, a tenth of a second is going to end my life. Fine. I have all this haste. I just need to find my shuriken. I just need to draw my shuriken. Okay. Please just draw the shuriken. All right, legendary. Repeat. Grant the card repeat. It is executed 1 additional time on play. Okay, shuriken. Shuriken is getting repeated. I didn't even need to look at anything else. That was the choice. That was the only choice. It was the only thing I saw. Nothing else mattered. All right. I don't need an attack card. I do want an enhancement, though, because it helps me with my Tinkerer's Toxin. I might actually end up removing Tinkerer's Toxin if it's going to be useless against the Dr. Toad anyway. We'll see how it goes. I do kind of want to slow the combat down just so I can see what's going on instead of watching numbers drop. It is pretty nice to be able to see the numbers go up so quickly. And the fact that this is not a PvP game means I don't have to be so salty if I lose something, because I know it's just me being bad at building my engine. Go ahead and choose this enhancement. Okay, I mean, does anything else even matter? Nothing else matters. None of this other stuff matters. Oh, I can't make the shuriken repeat itself though. No. Oh, that would have been so sick. It would have been so sick. Let's go ahead and put it on the combat data core. Because what at combat start? At the start of a fight, but it also just gives me a whole bunch of power. We'll see if we can take Rudy on. Is this just a giant stalk of broccoli? Is that what's going on here? It's just a giant stalk of broccoli. I'm also pretty sure I can't take on Kevin. Why is his name just Kevin? I can't take Kevin on because he deals 120 damage every second, and I am not fast enough to be able to deal with that. I don't have heals or shields to be able to keep up with 120 damage per second. That's only 5 attacks. That is 5 seconds before he kills me. Not a huge fan of that. We'll go ahead and take on the Elite Rudy. And go for the fight. Okay. Shuriken just chopped that tree down quite quickly, but it was a living stalk of broccoli. Oh, buddy. Hi, Bat. Hi there. How's it going? I mean, this is the play. I have 100% crit chance, and I'm going to deal 30 piercing damage every time I crit, which is 5 times a use on the shuriken, or 10 times because it repeats itself. Yeah, this is over. I don't care who you are. You're going down, Dr. Toad. I'm about to turn this frog into frog legs. He's about to get chopped up to pieces with my shuriken barrage. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and take this enhancement because I really love powering up my cards and feeling extra powerful. Alright, let's watch this shuriken go to work here. How much damage did that do? 450 in a single use. Plus, does it show me the damage I dealt with this? Did this not get a chance to go off just because I killed him so quickly with shuriken? Maybe. I don't even think I got to see the results of the spiked bat. That's a little bit of a shame. Make a card lose consume. Do I even have any consume triggers here? Nothing consumed, so that's a cool effect, but it only affects the die, which I don't want. I can make the shuriken sharper. I think I like the idea of making the shuriken sharper. Or I can add healing. Nope, we are going all offense all the time. If I don't kill with a single use of the shuriken, am I even a one-punch ace? I'm a coward. I really don't want to fight Kevin. Kevin scares me. Wait, he only does 100 damage now. He lost damage. Oh, but he lost the tick to his own HP loss? He lost 20 damage, though. That seems like a weird direction to go in. I feel like he should be gaining HP or gaining attack damage. Maybe I'm bad at balancing things. It just seems weird that he would lose damage. Maybe I can fight him now. Or let's go after the Hydra again. And see whether or not this mechanical Hydra means anything to me. Or if I'm just going to throw my shuriken at him and blow him up. We're just going to throw my shuriken at him and blow him up. Alright. Alright, what else do I have? I have a serrated shield that shields and slows my enemy. Nah. Shield wall with shields and 5 times. Nah. Or the seedling. Alright, we have a little bit of money here. Alright. Elite Kevin. we're just gonna chomp down another broccoli tree. Rudy's come back for more, and he is not prepared for what he's about to run into here, which is instant death at the hands of my shuriken. I am an assassin. This is so silly. Gosh, this would make me so salty if this was a PvP game and I ran into a build like this. What does this drill do? Armor breacher. When your enemy gains shield, deal 30 piercing damage. Okay. Piercing buddy deals 3 piercing damage, or I can go ahead and just self-optimize again and gain 3 power every time that I heal, which I think I'm going to do just because I don't really care for the 30 piercing damage. We'll go ahead and just gain more power every time that I heal. I am scaling wacky out of control right now. Training machine. There's a 25% chance your power applies to your shield and heal effects. It's not all that interesting. I could just grab the armor piercer now, or armor breacher. I can get a grenade which consumes it and deals 50 damage. Doesn't work at all for my build, I'm sure. Speed burst to gain 3 haste and 2 slow for 2 seconds. None of these things entice me. Let's see if I can find a module that actually helps me out. Sprint, mythical die, invigorated stag. Nothing here really interests me. Let's go ahead and reroll the wares again. Rust. Deal piercing damage equal to your enemy's shield. Okay. Heavy strike to just straight up deal 25 damage. A healing rate to heal 25. Nah. We're gonna go ahead and move onward to the next day, and I need to equip another item. Let's get Frost. Nightmare. Deals 100 damage, heals 100, and every 2 attacks, he adds a confusion to my deck. Kind of a jerk move, but he gives me an enhancement. Or I can go after a Rakhaha. What a beautiful name. Infect 15, deals 50 damage, extra damage equal to the infection on me. Let's just go after Nightmare. He looks like a pretty cool demon vampire dude thing. And he gives me an enhancement. Alright, let's fight him. I don't think he's ready to face me. I am a waking nightmare. You're just a bad dream. Go back to bed. Make an attack deal piercing damage, or I can just gain more power. Increase a card's effect by 20%. Let's just keep making this shuriken ridiculous. Your shields no longer matter. Your passive deck, your deck shuffles every 3 cards that I play. I feel like that can screw me over pretty badly, honestly. Or this guy, Omni Gobbler. Alright. Passive increases its damage by 20% when a card is consumed. There's a 20% chance a card you play is consumed. Considering I only have 1 attack card, if that just gets consumed, I would just lose this fight, right? I would just straight up lose. Alright, Observer it is, and we just kind of hope that he doesn't confuse me too much. Does it make me shuffle away? Okay, it's over. Oh, it's not. Oh, I got scared there for a second. Did my spiked bat? Yep, it just followed up and finished him off. Add 5% crit chance, useless. Add heal, useless. Add card effect. None of these are all that enticing. We're just gonna skip and gain some money. The elite fight. I 100% cannot take on Omni Gobbler. If I do not kill him in the first attack, and I won't be able to kill him in the first attack. I just did 700 damage in a single rotation. If that 20% chance, that 1 in 5 chance happens where I eat the sprints, I will just, or eat the shuriken, I will just lose. Alright, Arakaha. Are you dead? You are dead. You didn't even get to play a card. Alright, so Pocket Assassin. At the start of a fight, pay 1 scrap and gain crit equal to 3 times the total amount you paid this run. Not great. When I execute a trigger, I deal 15 damage. Not great. I don't have any trigger cards in here, and I can also just get a free reroll in the shop. We'll go ahead and skip this option. Hi, Mart. How's it going? Oh, this is already enhanced. That's pretty cool. We're just gonna go ahead and gain more power to make my shuriken deal more damage. This is an instant card. What does instant do? This card's effect is executed faster on draw, and the next card is drawn immediately. Nah. Pummel. On attack, I deal 15 damage and slow an enemy for 2 seconds. Or I can get the Tinkerer's Boost. Gain 2 power per enhanced card in my deck. I mean, that's just a better Tinkerer's Toxin, because I'm not using the Toxin all that much. If I'm going to be honest, what does this do? Gain 1 power per second of slow you apply. I don't have any slowing effects right now, though, so that's useless. Let's leave the mark and go forward. Who's the next enemy? Nightmare again? It's not Nightmare, it's a Rakaha. I want this enhancement. I'm getting so greedy for these enhancements. I have so much money. Okay, we know that we can kill him as soon as the Shuriken shows up, so there's no point in watching the combat at this point. Yeah, alright. The Shuriken went from a 1 weight card to like 20. Oh, I guess I can only have one of each type of enhancement on a card at a time. Mistake. Mistake. Does that make it an attack card if I add it to my... What do I want to remove then? Potentially. The freeze card? Does that turn it into an attack? It does. Okay, so... Wait. Oh, I thought sprint was an attack for a second. The colors are so similar. It's okay. I can remove the freeze from my deck. I don't actually want that effect all that much. We'll add another shield back in. I guess I just get really crazy with the enhancements. All the sprinting and increased movements. Okay, where's my Shuriken? It's in here somewhere. I know the Shuriken is in here somewhere. Oh no. I never drew the Shuriken. Okay. Okay. All right. The Shuriken finally showed up after shuffling my deck 100 times. It's fine. That was a little bit scarier than I wanted it to be, but it is fine. It's all gravy. It's all gravy. Let's go ahead and take the strong enhancements and make it so that another card gives me some more power. On use, I don't want to make anything heavier, so we'll go ahead and put it on the Tinkerer's Boost. And I still can't take on the Omnigobbler. It will go wrong. I know the 1 in 5 chance will always be a 100% chance the first time it happens. I know it. Deep down in my core, I know that I will lose my Shuriken. Nightmare doesn't matter. I'll skip this and just get the money. I don't really think any of those modules help me. When I play an attack card, gain 2 power. I mean, sure. Rainbow contraption that does piercing damage. I mean, that's not the most amazing thing I can get. I can get a consumable protected potion. I love this artwork so much, man. Let's reroll the wares. None of these are really all that great. Let's reroll again. Oh, that self-optimizer is fantastic. Self-optimizer is fantastic. Storm's Call. Storm Call. I love the artwork in this game. I really do. Oh man. It's so silly, but it's so good. Alright, what is storm? The storm starts. Freeze your enemy for 1 second. I mean, I don't want the storm to be starting when I'm looking for my Shuriken, so we won't do that. Heal for 25. If your enemy has at least 10 infection, also deal 30 damage. Meh. I'm not an infection deck, so we will self-optimize again. All of this healing is just giving me power. Alright. Last day before the boss fight. What do I add back into the deck? I want to add... I guess it has to be the Tinkerer's Toxin, unfortunately, since I've been gaining enhancements instead of cards. Okay, I need to find a card that can actually do something in the deck that's not the Tinkerer's Toxin, because it's not going to help me in the final boss fight, but I also don't want another attack. Alright, so what does Beak Thulu do? A whole bunch of damage, infects me a whole bunch, and at the start of the fight, adds 3 instant cards to my deck that apply freeze for 1 second and 5 infection. That's just mean, man. Alright, or a Hierophant. Deal 200 damage, and every attack increases its damage by 100. I'll get the card later. It's fine. Let's take on him. Why is he wearing Crocs? Why is this man in here? Oh no, I actually lost. Things went wrong. Oh no. Oh, that went so wrong. I don't even get anything good out of it. Remove a card from your collection to gain 15 max HP per rarity level of the card. Sure. Do I get to choose what card gets removed, though, or is it just random? I really hope it's not just random. We'll go ahead and put that on the restore. Pillow of Decay deals 200 damage. I heal for 200. It heals itself for 200, but it reduces my max HP by 10% for the fight every 2 attacks. I really, oh no, I see now. I understand now. Oops, I didn't realize that it applied instantly. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Just draw the shuriken and we'll be okay. Just draw the shuriken. That's all I need to do. One time. Just draw the shuriken one time. Not helpful. Not helpful. I think heavy plating helps more than Tinker's Toxin at the very least. Oh, I am really not in a good spot. I've made so many little misplays. Alright, we're down to the last fight. Last core on the last fight before the boss fight, and I am not confident I'm going to win now. Let's see if I can survive this guy, because I'm pretty sure I lose to Beak Dulu if I just get frozen for too long. Alright. How much damage that? Holy crap, it took him out. Okay. I just need to draw the attack card once and I win. Let's go ahead and take the training machine now, because I really do need additional effects for my shield and healing if I'm going to take on something that has all of this infection on it, I think. So we'll take the training machine and we'll hope Mark gives us a good something or another. What does this do? Exhaust scout gas, Paramount, trigger on slow and infect for 12. This card gained Paramount. What does that do? What, this card will be drawn first. If you have multiple Paramounts, it will be drawn in a random order. We'll buy the training machine and then we hope for a good reroll. The dual hammer deals damage and heals me. Heal 3, repeat this once for every 2 enhanced cards in my deck. Or I can get some more healing. There's a 1. Do I reduce my weight by a good amount by removing something like the heavy plating? I think that's a good idea. And then I have a slightly better cooldown time. Doesn't have to be by a lot, just by enough. What if I remove the other heavy plating for this? No, darn it. Gosh darn it. I don't want this because it makes it an attack. I made it an attack like an idiot. It has to be the heavy plating or the Tinker's Toxin. We'll just take the heavy plating. Neither one of them helps me in this fight, though. Add an instant copy of the triggering card to your deck. Let's lose this plating. Actually, I don't want the mythical dice because that could completely screw over my plans of critting if it adds a weapon to my deck. So let's go ahead and leave Marty. Or Mart? Scrap Mart? I'm just going to call him Marty. And go take on the boss. Alright, let's see how this last boss goes. Oh, I have to fight through the enemies first before I get to the boss. Ah, no. I was so excited to take on the boss. This guy killed me the last time. I don't want to take him on. Alright, this guy did not kill me the last time, so let's take him on. And let's just hope that I have enough power to deal with him. Alright, Shuriken destroyed him. It is executed instantly on draw. Or I can make something have haste. So, does that ignore... You make something instant. Okay, let's try that and put it on one of the healing salvos. I feel like I don't have a good choice here. I just have to get lucky. I would just have to get lucky at this point. I think I have a better chance of taking on Beak Thulu than I do the Hippophant. He just does so much damage so quickly, and if I don't draw the shuriken fast enough, I will just die. Alright, it's Beak Thulu. Let's see what this guy's got. Oh, I healed back. Oh, okay. Draw the shuriken. Okay. It was a little too close for comfort. Let's take the heal, buddy. I'm Art. Deal 15 damage 2 times. When I apply infection, there's a chance that I apply freeze too. When I apply infection. When I apply affection to the enemy, they also just take some damage. They are very shy and do not want me giving them any hugs. I understand. I wouldn't want to get hugged by the one-punch ace either. Let's re-roll the wares and see if I get anything good. Cards with load 3 or more have 50% chance to repeat. I mean, that's it. Add 3 dagger cards to your deck. Oh, it's Shiv. I can make a Shiv build? Booster pack. Add 3 random cards to your deck for the fight. Alright. Or when I shield, I infect 3. Alright, well, I can't buy anything, but I wanted to see what these new legendary cards were on day 10. So, alright, here we go to the final challenge. We'll see whether or not I survive this. Hi, Dr. Toad. I was feeling pretty confident up to this point. I'm feeling much less confident now. I've come to you with a proposition. I throw a shuriken at you and you die. Oh, I threw a shuriken at him and he died. All right, that's pretty great. That's pretty great. Wow. All right, a exciting roguelike auto battler with good scaling, where I don't have to feel so salty about losing to an opponent at the very least. This has been the first bite of Topdeck Automat, which, if you are interested, again, I will leave the Steam link in the description below. If you liked the content, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. It really helps us out. For now, this is Chef Magna clocking out.